People are finding it impossible to live in America right now, and people have just had enough.
Somebody want to tell me how I'm supposed to live in today's society? Not survive, live. We've got groceries sitting at $200 a week right now if you're fucking lucky and only like a family of 2 or 3. You know, rent, you better have 3 roommates or have a rich uncle or be popping that ass on OnlyFans. Utilities, gas, car insurance, health insurance, bitch, spin the wheel, because who the fuck getting paid this month? Growing up, we were all told, get a good job, stay out of trouble, stay in school, and you'll be fine. Guess what, Ethel? It didn't work. Here I am, 65, 85, 105 hours a goddamn week, coming home to a fucking house that's way the fuck overpriced for rent. I can't fucking enjoy it, because as soon as I get home, I'm ready to go the fuck to sleep. A basic life, food, shelter, good health insurance, not the bullshit fucking marketplace, is no longer a fucking lifestyle. It's a goddamn luxury. Meanwhile, you got the fucking gas and oil corporations over here with record-breaking profits that they're fucking bragging about every year. Motherfuckers getting paid $30, $40, $50 million a year to manage airlines. And you have the balls to lecture me about, you need to budget better. Suck my left nut from the back. We already know how to budget. We're stretching dollars until them bitches are snapping. Don't get me started on how wages don't keep up with inflation. The last time you raised wages, a T-Rex held the goddamn White House hostage. People are not lazy. People do not make terrible financial decisions for the most part. We're tired. We're overworked. We're sick of this shit. So fix the system, or we start flipping tables.
You have to find humor in it. You have to find humor when you're in a dark spot. In the military, we say it's being in the suck. You just have to embrace the suck. And people in America right now are finding themselves very deep in the suck. And it's getting worse. And it doesn't feel like we're getting help, but it feels like the only thing that we get is judgment. We can go ahead and talk about our problems. We can talk about the struggles that normal working class people are actually going through, the burden that they carry, not just from their families, not just from themselves, but society in general. Because if the working class breaks, society breaks. It's done. But it feels like we're all just being used. It feels like we're being used and abused, and that's because we are being used and abused, and our needs are being ignored constantly. The levers of power are constantly being used to enrich the wealthiest people in America, while at the same time, those same leverages are being used to keep normal working class people down. The working class and the middle class has been eroded to the point where it's just the working poor, and we're all starting to feel it, but we just want something more. We want change. And when we try to get that change, we're told that it's wrong. But people, like I said, have had enough.
Taxing the rich is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Shut up, simp. If all we gotta do in order to have community-owned co-ops is to tax millionaires, do that shit. Sucks to be rich. My people have been saying since 2020, we can't afford rent, gas, groceries, can't afford to buy a house, start a family. And the answer from the ruling class at every time has been, damn, sucks to be poor. Eat shit and die. Now these people who make everybody else's reality possible have decided to leverage the institution of democracy against the ruling class, and they're over here clutching their pearls. How dare you try to create a social, environmental, and regulatory condition that would benefit you over us? How dare you? That's not what democracy's for. Please don't do that. I need you to care about my material wealth more than I care about your material needs. Do you hear how stupid you sound? So no, I give them the same energy they give us. Sucks to be rich. Oh, but aren't billionaires people too? They're not. I had this conversation with my friend's mom the other day. I explained it to her like this. Who in your life could you pick? If you could pick one person that you could kill and you would get $1 billion, could you think of a person? Is there one person in your life you would kill for $1 billion? And she was, I was like, you ain't got nobody in your life you would kill. She was like, I have people. No, I don't think I would. Not even for $1 billion. And I was like, right, for $1 billion, you wouldn't kill somebody. To be a billionaire. Understand that there's not one person on this planet that a billionaire would not sacrifice in order to keep his billions, keep their billions. That's the difference. They do not possess the underlying humanity that makes someone a human being. I can't call them a human. Like, you're willing to sacrifice all of society in order to be a billionaire, but motherfuckers ain't willing to sacrifice a billionaire in order to protect society? What do we do all this for? What's the point of having all these do we make electricity so that people can get rich and so that people can have power? Do we grow food so that people can get rich and so people can be fed? Do we have water lines in the ground so that people can have water so that people can get rich? Why do we do these things? What's the point of having a society? Is it just to make money, or is it for the purpose that people have to exist and the best way to do it is cooperation? I need people to start asking themselves, why do we do these things? What the fuck is the point of living? As always, bro, I appreciate y'all taking the time. Much love. Have a good one.
That's what it really comes down to, doesn't it? We can worship the wealthy. We can worship the powerful. It's something that's been done throughout human history. We admire those in power. We fall in line to a hierarchical system. But in a moment like we're in now, with wealth disparity is at levels that it's never been since probably the Gilded Age, most American people find themselves in a great dilemma where they can go ahead and abide with the rules and regulations that the system has put in place for them to operate and to try to survive in. But it seems that as the days go on, as the years go on, that the odds are just stacked against the people, against us. The odds are placed heavily in favor of the house. And who's the house in this case? Politicians, the wealthy, corporations, everybody except you and I. Everyone except you, your parents, your grandparents, and more than likely your children. It's been ingrained in American society that we cannot look after each other. We can only look after ourselves. And that's a great detriment to the American people and the working class who need the kind of solidarity that can actually provoke change to be made. Because in a nation, in a system where the people are broken and have no kind of unity, have no common union, where they need to actually support each other, believe that to support each other is in their best interest, tyranny and oppression often thrive in those situations. And that's what we see now. It's a strange thing that in this time, in this specific time that we're in the West, in this world, in America, that to actually call out wealth disparity, to call out the worship of the ruling wealthy asset class is to be labeled a traitor of some kind. When the only thing that you're truly calling for is that the best interest of our country actually be the best interest of the people of our country. And this is where the United States has failed us. This is where our country has failed us. This is where our politicians has failed us, because no longer do they represent the best interest of the American people, of the United States. They represent each other. They represent those at their dinner parties. They represent their donors. They represent the lobbyists and those who send the lobbyist in. They don't represent us, though. At every turn they take, they try to disempower the American people by taking our support systems and pushing us farther and farther apart from one another. In the end, the working class, in the end, poor people, which I will say is you, which I will say is me, because we do not exist, more than likely, in the top 1%, top 5% of America. We have to look out for each other and make sure that the system keeps our best interest in mind. Because if we do not maintain and upkeep the safeguards that protect us from being used and abused, we're going to continue to see this world, this country, follow down the path that it's in right now, where most Americans as of now are suffering in a kind of Great Depression, while the wealthiest Americans are seeing an absolute boom in their net worth, in their value. We suffer while they gain. It's become impossible to live in the United States, and down the road, people are not ready for what is coming. Because if things do not change, if things are not addressed, if politicians don't do their job, if our leaders don't do their job, then like the first gentleman said, it's only a matter of time before people start flipping tables. And I don't think anybody wants that. And I certainly don't think anybody's ready for that. So if you're still here at this point, hey, like and subscribe. Think about becoming a member of the channel, right? Supporting us, helping us grow, you know? If you think that this video resonates with some people you know, hey, maybe share it. Other than that, go ahead and put your ideas down in the comment section so we can continue the conversation and have a little bit more of a debate. This channel isn't for everybody, and I understand that. And I think that beyond the political contest, I think that beyond our political tribalism, once people take those things away, they realize that this is more of a class struggle than it is anything else. And I think that's why it's beginning to resonate more and more with people. I think that's why you're starting to see more people on TikTok and on YouTube go off talking about, the failings of our society, talking about the cost of living, talking about how difficult it is for the average American to actually live, how impossible it is to actually start a family, how impossible it is to get and maintain housing, how impossible it is just to live a life here in America. And people are demanding change. Hope you have a good one.